like new. Experts say this clock could run for another 1,000 years.
That's incredible.
The city would even be there that long. But just think of the technology in 1410. It's spectacular. I've never heard of this. Have you?
No. Learn something every day.
You do, right here on Live at 4. News 3 at 5 starts right after this.
Right now at 5, hear from a Janesville woman anxiously waiting to get back into her apartment following an overnight fire.
And a Sun Prairie woman in a fight with a local college, why she says they denied her a refund after losing everything in the Sun Prairie explosion.
And later, live from Miller Park, the Brewers playing right now, kicking off their postseason play.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. We'll have those stories in just a bit. But first, police say a man tried to grab a woman and drag her across a street in Platteville early this morning.
It happened around 12:30. A witness called police to report the attack. The victim told officers he had followed her for several blocks, then tried to grab her multiple times on Roundtree Avenue. The man ran off after she yelled and fought back. He's not yet been found. There is rain in the forecast, and city leaders are encouraging residents to make sure their sandbags are in place. With the anticipated rain, we're also facing possible road closures. Small amounts of water are already pooling on parts of Mifflin Street and Johnson Street. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti in the Weather Center. Nice day today, but more rain on the way.
Yeah, this is just a quick respite for the day. Temperatures are obviously a lot cooler, but as they try to warm up again, more thunderstorms are in the forecast. Let's start out by taking a look at an alert day that we have in the forecast, mainly for tomorrow night. As showers and thunderstorms will redevelop, some of those could lead to additional flooding, and there's the possibility for an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm with gusty winds and hail being the main threats. Now, as we take a look at visible cloud track, we had a beautiful day today with lots of sunshine, although temperatures are a good 25 to 30 degrees colder than they were yesterday at this time. But you can see the clouds thickening up out to the west of us, and already showers are moving into much of Minnesota and northwestern Iowa. Yes, in North Dakota, that is some light snow that's falling. Temperatures are cold enough for it up there. But tomorrow, the severe weather outlook does have a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms from Madison southward, and a flash flood watch has been issued from tomorrow evening through Saturday morning for much of south central and southwestern Wisconsin, as well as parts of northern Illinois and eastern Iowa. Precipitation potential could be in the 1 to 2 or 3 inch range, especially from Madison southward, where the heavier thunderstorms are likely. Farther to the north, the rain threat much less. High temperatures were early this morning. Here in Madison, we're at 66 just after the cold front passed. We dropped to 41 this morning, and right now temperatures are in the middle 50s, but it is cooler to the north and west. Some upper 40s already across much of west central Wisconsin. By tomorrow morning, look for temperatures to climb into the upper 40s after starting out in the mid 40s around midnight. Showers tomorrow morning, and then some thunderstorms late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Tomorrow's high at 59. That's your first alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. A woman who lost her home in the Sun Prairie explosion this past summer has been dealing with a lingering aftermath in a way you wouldn't expect.
She was enrolled in an online course with Madison College and only attended one class before the explosion. She says the school denied her request twice for a full refund. Our Jamie Perez spoke with her about what she's gone through the past couple of months. Jamie?
That's right. Well, as of this afternoon, the school did offer her a full refund just 30 minutes after I interviewed her today, so she will get 100% back. But of course, it took quite some time to get to this point. Now, she says she filled out all the paperwork to get her money back, but she was still denied with a letter saying that her situation did not qualify. On the MATC website, it goes into detail on what does qualify as an extenuating circumstance to receive a full refund. Obviously, having your house blown up is not on there, but Angie thought that that was a good enough reason to get her money back. She says she's happy the school came around after all this time, but says the whole process to get to this point should have never happened.
Well, what is extenuating circumstances here? Like, if I can't get it for my whole place being gone, for everything that I've been dealing with, what's the point of filling out the form? What's the point of having it online?
Like I mentioned, she will get a full refund. Now, the president of MATC was not available for an on-camera interview, but he did send the following statement to us saying, quote, "Student success is essential at Madison College. We will do everything we can to support our students' needs and concerns as they reach their goals. In this case, the student will be receiving a 100% tuition refund." Now, that quote still did not quite address why she was denied twice in the first place. Coming up tonight at 6, Angie's reaction after fighting for 2 months to get that full refund and what that money meant to her.
Jamie Perez in the newsroom. Jamie, thank you.
And we have a call for action update to tell you about. Almost 4 months after a Wisconsin man hired an out-of-state moving company to pack up his home and move to Florida, he is just now getting his belongings back. Chris Bauman and his family made the decision to move to Fort Lauderdale back in early summer. He hired Titan Moving and Storage, which originally quoted him around $6,000, but when movers showed up at his home, the price doubled. He ultimately paid $9,000, but his stuff was never delivered. Titan finally gave Bauman an address to pick up his belongings in Indianapolis, but then told his stuff was actually in Illinois. Well, this week, Bauman made the drive with a moving van and was finally reunited with his stuff, valued at more than $100,000. Wow. Well, the Milwaukee Brewers are playing right now at Miller Park, taking on the Colorado Rockies.
It is the Brewers' first postseason game in 7 years. Sports director Jay Wilson is here now with an update on the game. Hello.
Actually, I have something to tell you here at this point. Yeah, it is the first baseball playoff game in Milwaukee since 2011, and a sellout crowd has been watching a pretty good pitcher's duel in Game 1 of the National League Division Series. In the third inning, the Brewers have just taken a 2-0 lead. Who else? Christian Yelich, a 2-run homer. Reliever Brandon Woodruff got the start for the Brewers. He's been great, 3 innings, allowing just 1 walk. The Brewers' best scoring threat before the home run came in the bottom of the first when Ryan Braun tried to score from second on a wild pitch, but did not. So 2-0 Brewers over the Rockies in the bottom of the third inning. Game 2 of that best-of-5 series is tomorrow at Miller Park with first pitch just a little bit earlier than today, 3:15 tomorrow afternoon. And if you listened closely, you could hear the roar from Milwaukee.
All the way over here.
All the way over here when Yelich hit that home.
Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
After, what, 7 years?
Correct.
So far, so good. All right, thanks, Jay.
And our Amy Reed has been chatting with fans there as well. She joins us live at Miller Park. Amy.
Yeah, with it being so long since a postseason appearance, you can imagine the crew here is very excited. They packed the parking lot here starting at 1 o'clock today, that tailgate full of people grilling and playing games, trying to kill time until that much anticipated first pitch. Now, a lot of the times the tailgate can get a little bit more rowdy sometimes than the game itself, but not today. Not for playoffs. We found one father and son out here who drove 3 hours for this. They've been watching the Brewers since Tyler was a kid, and his dad Randy said he's been listening to it on the radio even longer. But here's the kicker. The dad didn't even know that they were going to be watching Game 1 in person until his son showed up and said, "Get in the car, we're going to Milwaukee."
He's like, "Well, when are we leaving?" I said, 10 minutes. So he's like, "Wow, I better get ready."
I was going. There was no me thinking about it. So, yeah, it was surprising.
Now, Mom was in on it too. She had a bag packed and ready to go. Very exciting father-son adventure. But now Tyler and Randy are inside watching their first ever playoff game here inside Miller Park. Now, we're going to stick here all night watching baseball and talking to the very passionate Brew crew. Back to you.
All right, Amy Reed, live in Miller Park in Milwaukee. Thank you, Amy. That's the way to do it. There's no planning in or anything.
Exactly.
Just go.
Just go and enjoy. Thank you, Amy. Still to come tonight, the FBI wraps up its investigation into Brett Kavanaugh.
How Senate Republicans and Democrats are taking the news and how this confirmation process is fueling a divide across the United States. Stay with us. Welcome back. A South Carolina city is stunned after a gunman ambushed police, killing one and wounding 6 others. The 4 police officers from Florence, South Carolina, and 3 sheriff's deputies were shot while serving a search warrant. Police officer Terrence Caraway died. He just celebrated 30 years on the force. Police were forced to use a bulletproof truck to rescue the wounded officers. The suspect, now identified as 74-year-old Fred Hopkins, held children hostage while barricading himself inside the home. The standoff lasted for about 2 hours before the suspect surrendered. A single copy of the FBI's report on its investigation into allegations of sexual misconduct against Judge Brett Kavanaugh has been delivered to the U.S. Senate.
Senators are now getting their chance to review the report ahead of a vote which could put Kavanaugh on the United States Supreme Court. The FBI did not interview Christine Blasey Ford, who testified that Kavanaugh pinned her down and groped her during a gathering in 1982, nor did they interview more than a dozen people proposed by Ford's lawyers.
They interviewed 10 witnesses. They followed leads from interviews that made sense to me. I'm confident the FBI did a good job. They were not hindered in any way.
Democrats agreed that the investigation's scope should be limited. We did not agree that the White House should tie the FBI's hands.
3 Senate Republicans have not made up their minds on how they'll vote. The Senate will have a procedural vote tomorrow with a final confirmation vote likely coming on Saturday. And now that the confirmation vote for Judge Kavanaugh is imminent, Americans who are for and against the Supreme Court nominee are speaking out louder than ever.
There are marches and candlelight vigils and a lot of money going into ad campaigns in hopes of persuading swing senators. Mo Olengi has the latest.
The nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court has fueled a divide across the U.S. Protesters organized by the Center for Popular Democracy began their rally at the U.S. District Court, where Judge Kavanaugh currently works, then marched to the Supreme Court, where they say he doesn't belong.
Kavanaugh has terrible policies. He doesn't care about women's rights, and I think, people need to come out and show that they believe Dr. Ford.
Protesters also confronted individual senators on Capitol Hill.
America is watching.
The ACLU created an ad with a back-to-back comparison of Kavanaugh's denial of sexual assault with denials made by Bill Clinton and Bill Cosby as part of a $1 million ad campaign.
And we cannot have any doubt.
And more than 1,000 law professors signed a New York Times op-ed Thursday morning denouncing Kavanaugh.
The liberal mob and their media allies tried to ruin a good man with smears.
Pro-Kavanaugh supporters like the conservative Judicial Crisis Network are outspending liberals with its own ad campaign. And Kavanaugh has garnered strong support from Republican lawmakers.
Judge Kavanaugh should be confirmed on Saturday.
The editor of the Journal of Supreme Court History, Professor Melvin Urofsky, says there's been controversy about Supreme Court nominees before, but nothing like this.
Last time we were this divided, we had a civil war.
Mo Olengi, CBS News, Washington.
Let's get a check on the weather now. Gary Canalti is out on the chilly weather patio. Big difference from yesterday. Hi, Gary.
Yeah, it is a lot cooler. Actually, not bad here because there's not much of a breeze blowing. Yesterday, it actually was pretty windy, but it also was about 30 degrees warmer than it is right now. Let's start out by taking a look at an alert day that we have in the forecast for mainly tomorrow night. Now, we'll see some showers late tonight into tomorrow morning, then a break with just cloudy skies during the day tomorrow. A warm front will start lifting northward and trigger some more showers and thunderstorms tomorrow night into very early Saturday morning. Some of these storms could produce heavy rainfall, which in many cases is going to lead to more flooding, either flash flooding or more widespread like river flooding as river levels may start to come back up again. And there's a outside risk of an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm with gusty winds and hail being the main threats. Now, as we take a look at visible cloud track, today we had a day to dry out. Skies are sunny, temperatures, like I say, much cooler. In fact, you can tell the lake waters of Lake Michigan are warm, but that cooler air flowing over the lake waters causes clouds to develop. We start getting another month or so, we'll be down into the time period where we'll be talking about lake effect snows from those clouds as they move into northwestern Indiana. But right now, Wisconsin pretty much in the clear. Out to the west, though, those clouds already producing some precipitation in the form of rain. Back in parts of North and South Dakota, there is some light snow that's mixed in. And parts of northern Wisconsin may see some flakes of snow mixing in with the rain tonight. It'll be cold enough for that to happen. But around here, it'll be just rain showers with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Now, tomorrow, as temperatures climb to near 60, to our south, temperatures will get into the 70s into parts of northern Illinois. So there's a chance for an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm. That's why Storm Prediction Center has a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms for tomorrow, mainly from Madison and Milwaukee southward. The rain, that's probably the biggest concern. This is from from our latest computer model forecast. About 1 to 2 inches with some localized 3 or 4 inch amounts are possible. The heaviest amounts along and south of the Illinois state line, that's where the heaviest thunderstorms will be. The farther north you go, north of Madison, it looks like the rainfall amounts will be much less there and less of a flooding concern. But because of that, flash flood watch is in effect for pretty much most of our WISC viewing area. Live view from the Queeby Radio Skycam in Platteville. Clear skies there. WISC Skycam showing mostly sunny skies. And the Edgewater Skycam at downtown Madison showing just a few clouds overhead. But but plenty of sunshine. The almanac for today shows our high temperature was early this morning at 66 degrees. We dropped to 41 early this morning, but right now we're kind of in between. We're at 54 degrees. Skies are mostly sunny, winds out of the north-northeast at 9 miles per hour. Dew point temperature pretty low at 37, so the air is very dry. Temperatures are in the 40s in the northern part of the Midwest, 50s here. Notice the 60s not too far to our south. But compared to 24 hours ago, we're almost 30 degrees colder than we were, and we were kind of expecting that as that strong cold front came through last night. Now, the upper level winds are still from west to east or even west-southwest to east-northeast, so we're not getting the full brunt of the cold air. And the next weather system will ride in right along that jet stream from the southwestern part of the country right into the Midwest. So there's a big temperature contrast. Near 90 down toward the Ohio River, 30s across the Dakotas. Dew point temperatures are still in the 70s along and south of the Ohio River, so there's a lot of moisture available as that moisture starts moving northward. So on future track, look for the rain showers to move in for tonight. Then we'll see a break during the day tomorrow. Then showers and thunderstorms tomorrow night into early Saturday morning, and then those should gradually come to an end, which is cloudy skies lingering for much of the rest of the weekend before some more showers and storms arrive toward Sunday morning. So a flash flood watch in effect from tomorrow evening through Saturday morning for pretty much most of the areas south of Wisconsin Dells. Low 44 for tonight with increasing clouds. Rain will develop toward morning. Tomorrow, look for a high of 59 with some showers early in the morning and a chance of a shower late in the day. Now, on future track, you can see the clouds moving in overnight. Rain really doesn't arrive till early tomorrow morning. It'll rain for the morning, then a break midday, and then thunderstorms move in tomorrow night, and then those move on out early on Saturday morning, which is cloudy skies lingering for much of the day on Saturday. Again, those rainfall amounts, 1 to 2 inches, maybe locally more from Madison southward, lighter amounts up to the north. As we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, you'll see those temperatures pretty much back into the 70s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday like we were thinking yesterday, and then dropping into the 50s with another shot of cold air for the end of next week. As we take a look at first alert traffic, the sun may be shining, but it's not a great day on the Beltline. Slow traffic in both directions. That's at John Nolan Drive and the Beltline from the DOT camera. Delays eastbound on the Beltline starting around West Broadway going back to almost Whitney Way. Westbound delays from around Todd Drive to John Nolan Drive. 35 minutes if you're traveling eastbound on the Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate. 22 minutes back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, a usual 28-minute commute from the Beltline to Janesville on I-3990, 20 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 19 minutes out to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your first alert traffic.
All right, Gary, keep an eye on things for this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Still to come tonight at 5. Is your car under recall? Automakers issue these recalls on a regular basis, but a new report finds many car owners never repair the problem. That's when we come back. We're only a couple of months away from the holidays, and this year holiday sales are expected to rise. The National Retail Federation predicts that sales in November and December will increase over 4% from where they were a year ago. And in other words, that means that Americans will spend over $721 billion on the holidays this year.
Wow.
Last month, Ford recalled 2 million trucks for a potential seatbelt problem, and Honda says airbags in more than 1 million of its vehicles need to be fixed.
Yeah, automakers issue recalls on a regular basis, but a new report finds many car owners never have the issue repaired. John Schumo explains.
Anthony Burgess drowned, saving his little girl from this frigid pond in March. The 23-year-old's car was running on top of a hill at this Indianapolis apartment complex when he got out to talk to a friend. Authorities believe his 3-year-old somehow shifted the vehicle out of park, causing it to roll into the water. Burgess didn't know how to swim, but held his daughter above his head until bystanders came to help.
She said, my daddy got me out of the water, but he couldn't get out. That was something that she said.
Investigators say the car had an unrepaired recall for problems with the shifter.
We estimate that there are about 70 million vehicles on the road today with open recalls.
Jack Gillis is with the Consumer Federation of America. A new report from the group found about 25 to 30% of recalled vehicles go unrepaired.
Those open recalls not only pose a danger to the occupants of the vehicle, but they pose a danger to the rest of us who are driving on the roads near those open recall vehicles.
Car dealers cannot sell new cars with an open recall, but there are no federal laws against selling a used car with one. Gillis and other consumer advocates are pushing for federal legislation to change that.
There are millions of cars that are being sold on used car lots around the country with open recalls, and most consumers don't know that's the case.
To find out if your car is under recall, just go to safercar.gov and type in your VIN number. If it is, the manufacturer will repair the problem for free. John Schumo, CBS News, New York.
And we'll have one final check of your weather when we come back.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, we are in South Carolina with new details on the Vietnam veteran who targeted law enforcement officers. Tonight's protests in D.C. ahead of a potential Kavanaugh vote on Saturday, and the 3D medical breakthrough that helped this dog and why it could soon help humans. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And Gary's here with a final check of the weather.
Well, take a look at these temperatures. Remember where we were yesterday?
Yeah,
It was, I think,
80s?
83 at this time. Today, 54. So that's a 29-degree temperature drop. Some 40s already starting to show up over much of northern and western Wisconsin. But Doppler track right now, free of precipitation here. Obviously, skies are sunny, but the rain is actually not that far to the west. We'll see our clouds thicken up tonight. And yes, look in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That is snow falling across parts of North and South Dakota. I think parts of far northern Wisconsin could see a mixture of rain and snow later on tonight. Now, we could look at the possibility for an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm tomorrow night. But heavy rain also a possibility, and that's why we have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow, especially for tomorrow night, for the possibility for 1 to maybe as much as 2 or 3 inches of rain from Madison southward. Those temperatures cool for the weekend, warming up early next week, and then cooling down toward the end of the week, maybe a little dry weather.
A lot of rain on that. All right, Gary, thank you. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.